All right, guys. So I was just driving, but I had to stop the car because I just want to talk about my testament or my testimonial to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And this is something that I just got done praying with her, and I feel really enlightened. And I just want to share this with people because as a single guy, sometimes you feel like it's you against the world. And especially as an entrepreneur and aspiring athlete, like you just always, I think a lot of guys can relate to this where you just feel like it's you against the world a lot of times. And guys and girls can feel this way. But I just got done praying to the Blessed Virgin, and I I feel amazing. And I grew up Catholic, and I always knew that God is real. And I was always trained to pray to him and to lean on the faith in times of trial. I just want to start from the top though. So I went to college in Auburn, Alabama, and in college I would say I went really hard in the gym during my early years in college and throughout college. And the gym was mostly like my sanctuary because I realized that in the gym I felt, you know, sometimes I counted out, or like I felt like life was out of my hands because, when you're 18, 19 years old as a man, you feel like a little bit powerless. Like you just want to you want to prove yourself. And I started going to the gym like every single day, twice a day. I became obsessed. And through that, I found a lot of things out about myself. I felt very lonely for a long time. And I also started to find God though during this time, because when you experience pain in the gym, like, how when you're sick, you only have one problem. You just want to become healthy. But when you're healthy, you feel like you have 99 problems. And for me, whenever I was in the gym and I was dead tired, I couldn't do another rep, I would always have one thing on my mind, and that was God, because God is the only person that can keep you going. And, whenever I felt lonely, because I felt like I took this different path, like I was always in the gym, I was always trying to work on my business, Flight Foods, and I just felt so alone. And I started realizing that God is there for you. And I started going to mass. I started going to a Bible study. I started, taking my faith very serious. And they would always tell you to pray to Mary. As a young Catholic man, they always say like, hey, pray to Mary, pray to Mary. And I never really felt a real connection with Mary for some reason. Like, I would pray to her, but I never felt it really reciprocated too much. I just kind of would pray to her and just be like, hey, I hope this hits. I know one of these has to hit. And yeah, man, moving past that, I, was starting to find my faith life, and I, went to graduated college, pursued my dreams with Flight Foods, my supplement company where I make protein powder, pre-workout, creatine. I started this out of my dorm room, and I decided to pursue this full time. Take the leap of faith, graduated college. I was back living with my parents because I had no money coming in. I was just getting my business off the ground. And I felt called to pray to the Blessed Virgin, and I started to pray the rosary every day. I missed a couple days, for sure, but for the most part, every day. And I would do this, and there's also a beautiful statue of Mary by my house, and she was always there for me. And I'm not sure I would always pray to her, and I would give her a hug. I would hug the statue almost every night for some reason, which I'm not sure, that was just my thing. I'd hug the statue, then I would pray, and I would sip an energy drink, just hang out with Mary, pray the rosary. And I never felt direct returns because I felt like I was always suffering. But in the suffering, I always knew that when I suffered, there was always like a sense of joy though, because I knew that, you know, the only way to develop strength and perseverance is by suffering and pushing through it. But I never felt the real like, oh, I'm happy, I'm praying to Mary. Like I never felt like she was like, it was always a deep joy. It was never like a happiness, for, if that makes sense. And so I felt this deep sense of joy, but I never felt it really come back to me. And so fast forward, a lot of things happened. I moved downtown and I found this amazing men's group, this group of guys called Fraternis at one of the local parishes there. And pretty much I surrendered my business to the Lord, and I met this amazing guy named Jacob, and he helped me rebrand all of my products. So the premise of my business is like health supplements, but they help you become strong in body, mind, and spirit, because everything is interconnected, everything is one. And that's a beautiful thing I realized was when I was finding my faith life. I realized that you can actually use your physical fitness and physical gifts to benefit the Lord, because your body is a temple. You can become a strong man, provider, protector, but you can also do things like mission trips. You can feed the homeless. There's so many things you can use your energy and physical abilities for. And I was so grateful for that. But anyways, I surrendered my business to the Lord. These guys really inspired me. And right after that, I met this guy, amazing guy, Jacob, from Truthly. Like this is like one of the most amazing men I've ever met over the phone. And he helped me redesign my labels. So the idea was to make it more of a Catholic, more of a faith-based supplement company, because my current labels were aviation themed, and I wanted to make it very faith oriented. And we named the pre-workout Blessed Berry, and we put an image of the Blessed Virgin. And this pre-workout is going to come out on January 1st, 2026. So it's not released yet at the time of this video, but I was like, man, like, is this even right? Like, who am I to make this pre-workout? Because I'm a sinner. I am far, far from perfect, and the Lord knows that. You guys probably know that too. I don't have to say that, but he doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And I was like, man. So a couple of things happened too. I got to backtrack. So when I was redoing the labels, this guy Jacob helped me redesign my whole labels, my whole brand, and it was the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And I was like, I have to make a decision tonight what to call this new pre-workout. And I was thinking of different saints. Like, do I call it like St. Christopher Creamsicle, Paul Pineapple, St. Paul Pineapple? But I decided on a Blessed Berry after the Blessed Virgin, because it was her feast day. And I was like, this makes sense. And then I announced it on Instagram. We make a quick post about it. And what comes back is someone texted me like saying, hey, you know, the first of the year is actually the feast of the solemnity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. I'm like, what? No way we decided to launch it on this date. I just did it because we're going to this big conference for Catholic students called Seek on the 1st. I'm like, it'll be cool to debut it on the 1st. Didn't realize it was her feast day. And I'm back home for Christmas. So I go to pray with Mary, the statue I always went to when I was packing orders out of my mom and dad's house. And this was the first time I really felt like warmth from her. A warmth that felt like reciprocated. And it was like, it felt like she was always there for me. The Blessed Virgin Mary was always there. Even times where I didn't feel like direct feedback from the prayer. It wasn't like I would pray and then something cool happened. It would be like, you know what? I think things will play out down the line. That kind of feeling. And anyways, despite feeling unworthy and all of this stuff, I went to pray to her today, and I just felt so much warmth, and I felt like she was always there. And like, you don't have to fear. There should be no fear. It should be all peace, and it should be more audacious. Try to take more risks with your life and proclaim the gospel, because it doesn't matter what anyone else says. God is the greatest, and the angels and saints are very real. Pray to them and fear not. Amen.